I just had enough. I just told her, are you sure that's your final answer? You want to tell me we're not getting married? And that was it.
Okay.
I had enough. I had enough.
When David Hyder's fiancée told him the marriage was off, he responded in the most cold-blooded way possible.
I've had enough with women. They have pissed me off, mentally fucked me up.
And in the face of the worst act of his life, he was still cracking jokes with police officers.
You say trigger, yeah, trigger.
Takes us up.
I know.
Shortly after midnight on December 1st, 2024, police in Osceola County, Florida, received a call from a distressed woman claiming that her mother, 58-year-old Natalia Dawn Dumee, had been shot on their back porch. When police arrived, they found 57-year-old Timothy Hyder, Dawn's fiancé, standing quietly in the driveway. Officers at the scene saw a trail of blood leading through the house from the front door to the back porch. There, they found Jenna Dumee, Dawn's daughter, trying desperately to stem the blood that was flowing from a gunshot wound on the right side of her mother's head. But it was already too late to help her. So what happened? How did a seemingly normal night in a peaceful town turn deadly? Tim and Dawn had been dating since October 2021 and were engaged to be married. But according to people who knew them, and even Tim himself, the relationship could be difficult, especially when alcohol was involved. Their neighbors in St. Cloud told reporters that the couple were known to have quarrels, but no one would have suspected it could end in brutal violence. In the days leading up to Dawn's death, she and Tim had been arguing on and off, which was not unusual.
Could you describe just kind of how your guys' relationship is? Are you guys in a honeymoon phase or?
It's been a little bit rocky here,
Okay.
and then tonight was just bad. Well, now it's morning now, but earlier today it was bad. And just this week, I work for the school board, and I had the week off and everything, and just, I don't know,
It should be noted here that Tim's account of the night and the days leading up to it is the only account that has been made publicly available. Of course, his explanations should be taken with a grain of salt. On the night of November 30th, the couple went to a football watching party in St. Cloud. According to Tim, things escalated when his friend arrived with another woman, and Tim encouraged Dawn to take her under her wing. But Dawn wasn't having it.
shit went down at the party over there, And a buddy of ours brought a little gal over, and I said to her and the other gals, why don't you bring her into the girl group? Obviously, she thought I was saying that, oh, I didn't do my job. I said, I never said it wasn't you. I just said, you and the other three gals, bring her in the girl group. And she just lost her shit. I don't know if she thought maybe me and the girl were flirting. I don't know. It was just are you kidding me right now? What are you saying? I didn't say anything like that. I just said, why don't y'all bring her into the girl group? Why are you more worried about her than your own soon-to-be wife in your face? I'm like, oh my God.
Shortly after their spat, Dawn told Tim for the first time that she was calling off the engagement. Tim thought his fiancée was overreacting, and once they got home, she would change her mind. But we know that's not what happened. After the party, the couple returned to their home, where they lived with Dawn's daughter, Jenna, and Tim's elderly mother. Jenna was watching a movie, and Tim's mother was asleep. But their conversation from earlier wasn't over. They went to the back porch and continued to argue. Timothy asked her again if she planned to marry him, and again she said no. He returned inside. Jenna Dumee claimed she heard commotion from upstairs. She rushed down to the back porch, where she saw the gunshot wound on the side of her mother's head. Tim was beside her. She later told police that her stepfather said, "It's over. I blew her brains out," before telling her to call 911. For Dawn, the nightmare was over. But for Tim and their family, it had just begun. Tim was taken to the St. Cloud Police Department and interrogated by detectives Dunn and Torres. From the beginning, he appears calm and emotionless, more tired than anything. It's not the demeanor you might expect from someone who has just been arrested in connection with his fiancee's murder.
So Tim, let's start with, can you kind of describe your relationship with Dawn?
Yeah, 3.5 years and get engaged, supposed to get married.
You said engaged?
Do what?
I'm sorry, you said engaged?
We were engaged, yes.
And throughout this relationship with her, you guys lived here off of Westerson the whole time?
No. I was off of 1925. Where me and my ex had a house over there on 10th Street.
But once the conversation turns to the relationship and what happened leading up to that night, Timothy becomes subtly defensive. He describes the tension between them, but claims he didn't understand why Dawn was upset in the days leading up to her death. In his words, her anger didn't make sense, and he felt that he was being attacked for no reason.
You're saying it got bad today. Can you kind of go into details a little bit as to what went bad?
Just like she was just like mad at me for, we went over to somebody's house for the Florida State game, and she just rode my ass hard about, things that's been going on, and she just thought was bad, and I'm like, I love you. And I just told her, I said, what is going on? Why are you so riding my ass, and everything,
Yeah. Did she, any explanation for it? You know why?
She just thought that I was just, being the person that I'm being. And, she had just told somebody, her ex-mother-in-law that's back in the area, that earlier, I'm a good dude. I'm a great guy, and her girls love me, and, she loves me, and that we're going to be, getting married and do all this stuff. And it was just like, today was just like bad, That's like, I don't know if she's upset because I had the week off and she didn't, or something, or just different things,
Did it start where you guys were at the party for the game? Or?
No, it was before that.
He describes alleged domestic violence toward him from Dawn, which could be an attempt to justify the breaking point in the relationship.
Struck me a few times. She punched me a few times, and just, different things, shoved me, throwing the patio furniture and stuff again, and it's like, I don't understand, Yeah, alcohol involved, of course, different things,
And this was all earlier yesterday, like before the game, or the day before?
The day before, yeah. She ain't gonna leave. She didn't leave no more. Shoving you, telling you. No, I'm not marrying you. Fuck you.
But it was at the football watch party that things reached a boiling point. They pretended everything was fine around their friends, but it was a different story when they arrived home.
Okay, can you kind of go through what happened when you guys got home?
So we got home, and before that, at the house we was at, she was like, I'm going to give you the ring, and I'm going to just tell you right now, when we get in the car, you can have the ring. I'm done. We're not getting married. But I go back in the house over there where I'm at, and we're loving on each other and everything. And she goes, oh, isn't it amazing how I can show you how I can be false to the people and everything? And I'm like, I thought we were good, We get home, sit on the patio. It was bad. It was real bad. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Well, I tried to talk to her. We're drinking, I tried to talk to her, and she says, I'm not marrying you. I'm done this time. You're bullshit. You're all your bullshit. And, she started, shoving me and hitting me and throwing the patio furniture into the yard and everything. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And she just wouldn't listen to me, I tried to tell her I love you. I'm going to be with you. I'm going to marry you. We're going to continue. Supposed to get married in April. And I don't understand, But she didn't want to listen to me, She didn't want to hear that I still loved her, what I'm saying?
Now he comes to the moment immediately before Dawn's death. the critical moment for his case. At this point, it will almost be impossible for Tim to convince the detectives that he is innocent. He knows it, and so do they. According to police affidavits, Tim's silver and black .357 revolver was found on the kitchen counter, with blood leading to the back door where Dumie was slumped over. The police also have a witness, Dawn's daughter, Jenna, who claims she saw him go into the closet where he kept the gun immediately prior to the shooting. Despite knowing that he can't lie or excuse his way out of the situation, Hyder still wants to explain himself or perhaps gain sympathy from the detectives. Aside from his difficulties with Dawn, he talks about his ex-wife, trying to make a connection between the pain of his first marriage with the dysfunction of his current relationship.
You know, my ex-wife, you know,
Mhm.
February this year, we were done. Dawn was great. She got me through that and everything. But I'm just had enough with women. They have mentally fucked me up. I've had enough with women. They have pissed me off, mentally fucked me up. But my head has been fucked up from 15 years with my ex. And I have seen signs in her sometimes that bring out my ex.
Tim clearly sees the way his fiancée and ex-wife treated him as the reason or justification for why he finally snapped.
And she's just right here. Bah, 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 bah. And I'm not engaging. Bah, 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 bah. And I'm just like, stop, please stop, please stop. Please quit fucking coming at me. Quit coming at me.
And still, instead of admitting what he did, he avoids the issue by repeating vague statements.
Okay. So you guys are arguing outside on the patio. What happens next?
I was just done.
Done with what?
I just had enough. You know, I just told her, you know, are you sure that's your final answer? You want to tell me we're not getting married? And that was it.
Okay.
I had enough. I had enough.
And after you told her that you were done, you know what? Can you elaborate what happened after that?
I just pissed off. I was done. You know, I asked her, I said, are you sure or you're done? You know?
Right.
And she said, yeah, I'm done. And that was it. I'm done.
Okay. So what happens next? Like, do you go inside?
Yeah, I went inside.
Okay. What'd you do when you went inside?
When I went inside tonight, yeah, I did. I went, I was done.
Okay. What'd you do when you came back inside?
It was over. I had enough.
Okay.
I told her. And I asked her, and she tried to get me back. I'm not done with you yet. I'm not done with you yet. Come back, come back. You're not sleeping in our bed tonight. You're not sleeping, well, her bed, my bed. You're not sleeping in my bed tonight. And I said, okay.
Okay. Did you ever come back outside?
Yeah, we came back out, you know.
What happened when you came back outside?
More shoving and just mad at me, you know, pissed off, you know.
Okay.
And I was just like, fine. You don't want to get married? You don't want to get married, you know. There's always some more to talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Obviously, when you went back inside and then came back out, you said that there was more shoving, right? She doesn't want to get married with you, and you're saying, hey, all right,
She's done with me.
she's done with me, and I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Gave me the engagement ring.
Okay.
I had it in my pocket. You know, the officers took everything out of my pockets and everything.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, whatever. You know.
Okay. Now, when you went back inside, where did you go?
Well, I tried to go upstairs and go to bed on the couch,
Okay.
you know, but she kept calling me back out, you know.
Okay.
She said, "Oh, I'm not done with you yet. Come back out."
Okay. And then what happened?
That was it. She didn't want to talk no more.
Okay. But what happened after that?
I was done.
I know. You told me.
I was done.
You told me that you were done.
Yeah.
He even addresses the truth without directly admitting it.
How did your guys' argument end? How did the resolution for it?
We're not bullshitting nobody here. You know how it ended.
You know, but there's always two sides to a
I
story,
know.
right?
I know. Y'all want me to confess. I know you do. I know.
Well,
We weren't there.
exactly.
We weren't there. And right now, you're the only person that knows what happened because the other person is no longer here.
Yeah. I never wanted this to end this way.
You know,
I could tell just by your body language that
I know. I know.
you're remorseful.
Well, I should be in tears. I should be fucking in tears. It's a late night. It's fucking late right now. I got an 82-year-old mother that lives with me. I got a 16-year-old son that's living or staying the night. You guys already know everything.
Spending the night somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, she's got 2 daughters that I call my daughters. 2 dogs. Yeah.
The detectives sense they could be moments away from getting the confession, so they try to appeal to Tim's need for sympathy, telling him they don't see him as the bad guy.
We're not here to judge in any way, like I was saying, okay? And right now, we're not talking to you, and we're not looking at you as a criminal.
I know you guys. I know you
Okay.
guys are doing your job.
I'm looking, and we're looking at somebody who just made a mistake. Okay? That's how we're looking at you right now.
You need a confession.
We just need to know exactly what happened. Okay?
It seemed to work. Tim breaks down for the first time during the interrogation.
I wish I could fucking take it back.
It's not a full confession yet, but the detectives know that it won't take much pushing to get him to where they need him. So they appeal to his responsibility as a parent.
I believe him.
We believe you.
You know?
And like I said, we're looking at somebody who just made a mistake. Okay? And all we need to know is exactly, what happened. How it happened. Because right now we have a lot of things unanswered.
Oh, I know you do.
You know?
I know you do.
And we need to, and obviously we have to know the details. You know?
And now's the time to get everything out on the table, right? So you've got kids, so they're going to end up seeing potential resolutions of what happened, and they're going to see how you ended up resolving this, and that's how they're going to view you for the rest of your life, right? So, and I can tell you're remorseful right now.
I think you guys already know.
No, we don't.
I know what you need. You need me to go ahead and tell you. I know.
We need to know exactly what happened.
There's obviously details that are being left out of what you're saying. And there's more to it. And that's just what we're trying to get at. We just want to know your side of the story as detailed as possible as to what happened.
Tim tries one last time to avoid giving detectives what they want, but it doesn't take long.
I just don't even want to talk anymore. You know what I'm saying? I know what you guys are looking for. I just don't want to talk about it anymore. I just can't believe. Yeah.
I understand, Tim.
One of the detectives leaves the room to get Tim some water and possibly to let their suspect process what is going on. While he's away, Tim seems to finally register what he's done and the effect it's going to have on everyone he knows.
I'm 57 years old. Got 2 retirement. Well, I remember drawing 1 retirement, you know.
Okay.
I got 24 years with the school board.
Which one?
Silver County.
Silver County?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm born and raised here. So was she. It's like a nightmare that's never going to go away.
Oh, we all make mistakes, Tim.
Yeah, but you know what? You got to know right from wrong. You can't cross a fine line. That's the problem right there. My dad died in 2021. And I told my dad, I'll take care of Mom for the rest of her life. She's 82 now. You know? I'm her only son. I'm the only child she's got.
That small break in the interrogation was all the time Tim needed to accept his situation.
I'm a man.
Yeah.
You guys are men, right? I'm a man. Yeah. I'm not going to fucking dilly-dally no more and waste anybody. That's what I told
Mm-hmm.
right?
Correct.
Yeah. I just told you about my dad dying in 2021, right?
Yeah.
That's the 357 he bought me when I was a young man.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I went upstairs and got the 357. I was on the patio. I looked at her one more time. I said, "You're not going to marry me?" And she let me have it one more time, hardcore. Yeah.
At 4:17 a.m., the excuses stop. Timothy Hyder confesses to the murder of his fiancée, Dawn Dumais. Unfortunately, key moments in this interrogation have been redacted by official sources, including Tim's confession. But we do have Detective Dunn's affidavit recounting the interrogation. Hyder told detectives he asked Dawn one last time if she wasn't going to marry him. She said yes. Hyder then told detectives that he, quote, put one right in the back of her head, but he did not even hear the gun fire. We have no information about how Dawn reacted to Tim's reappearing with the gun, but it's not hard to imagine the shock and fear that would have come over her in that moment. Tim, on the other hand, seemed visibly relieved to get the confession off his chest. Afterwards, more details came pouring out about his motivations for the crime.
Yeah. And like I said, I've been scarred with my son's mother. And I was really and truly looking forward to happiness like everybody is. And we've had that. We've had that. We knew each other from 35 years ago. And there's been some spots there and some times there. And I'm just like, I can't fucking keep taking shit when I honestly think I'm a great guy, right? I'm really a good guy, right?
You can tell. Yeah.
And, it's just demons. I guess I don't want to believe it, but I've been having a lot of demons for a long time. And she would even say that you still got a lot of demons to work out. Now I'm in a great place in my life. You know,
What do you mean that's like a reference to? Just like,
Scars.
yeah, like
just different
Hurting.
things. Like when I think that me and her are so good,
Mhm.
and I would just see my ex again. You know,
yeah,
a lot of
the past.
yeah, a lot of demons still. You know,
Trauma.
yeah,
That weighs with everybody.
a lot of demons, trauma, yeah, different things. Which, can you walk away? You should, yeah. Or just, like I said tonight, I should have just went to bed. And when she said, "Well, you're not sleeping in my bed," it's supposed to be our bed. I should have just went up there and laid on the couch and slept it off. We could talk about it the next day, right?
He even seemed relaxed enough to make a disturbingly dark joke about the situation.
Everybody's got their triggers.
You say trigger, yeah, trigger.
Things that stuff.
I know.
Shortly after, Timothy Hyder was charged with second-degree murder and transported to Osceola County Jail, where he was held without bond. He is currently awaiting sentencing. Tim's legal representatives have yet to issue a public statement, and no one in his family, including his mother's son or Dawn's two daughters, has spoken out publicly. But it's clear the St. Cloud community, where the couple lived, has been rocked by Tim's crime. Tim and Dawn's next-door neighbor, Raymond Brennan, told reporters, "This is the first time since I've been here that anything close to this has happened. You don't even hear about robberies in this neighborhood, so this is kind of shocking for most people here." Tim pointed to excuse after excuse: abuse from Dawn, trauma from past relationships, being pushed to a breaking point by the women in his life. But what he didn't think about was the devastation his reaction would leave behind him. All it took was one decision in the heat of the moment to leave two daughters without a mother and a son without a father. And that's something he'll have to live with for the rest of his life.